Vicky here with you, and I wanted to share something a little bit different with you guys. So when I did the Bible journaling, I used some of the leftover ink on this piece of textbook page, and I was looking through this art journaling book, and I wanted some inspiration. I've been wanting to do, you know, like find a page and be inspired and just do something using that. And I came across this here, and you know how much I love Zen doodling and that sort of thing. So I thought, how cool would that be to do this type of thing? Because here obviously there was some inks or watercolor or something like that. But what about how cool would that be to use something similar to that as inspiration, but doing it on something like this? And I just thought it'd be super fun, and that's what we're doing, because why not? Now I'm wondering which type of pens I should be using now, and I'm thinking that maybe I got some new microns, but those are 0.45. So technically these should be fun to use on this. These I got on Amazon. And yeah, they should be great. And now what I thought, because I don't want to just have this page floating about. So a while back I had started this here, which is a box, kind of like my journaling out of the box, but a bigger size. And it was one of those, I just thought it was super cute and that I could recover this at one point. But so far I had done this one with using one of my image, this one, and then that one. But I haven't done any others since then. So I thought it'd be really fun to use one of those cards to do this, because why not? And that's my goal this year, is to, you know, work in all kinds of different sizes and mediums and that sort of thing. So I figured, let's glue this on, and then cut around it, and then do the Zen doodling. And what's fun with using something like this is that there's no real cost to this. So, you know, like you could do this in an old book that you're not using anymore. You could do this with recipe cards that you're not using. They're super easy to find in thrift stores. So there's like so many ideas. You just have to think about what can you use that's inexpensive and that could be a support to your art or to your practice of doing something. Because that's what we need to do. Like just play and have fun and do more of that. So this is what we're going to be doing with this. Whoops! There goes my little piece of paper. And I kind of like this painty stripes, so I think I'm going to keep them. I do have a bin of miscellaneous small piece of paper, so I'm going to put it in there. Now I'm going to be probably edging the thing, because that's how I roll. I always edge everything. And I'm thinking I want to just start off with making some shapes, and I'm trying to be, you know, inspired by what I saw here. So, you know, like something like that. I really like the microns. These pens are a lot of fun to use. If you don't know them, you should check them out. I think they're on my Amazon store front. If you purchase from there, I do get a little bit of money back. and it's money that I use in the channel. So and it doesn't cost you anything more by going through my link, and I've basically, you know, done the work of finding the item for you. So it's a fun. And even if you purchase other stuff but you don't, and you use my link, even if it's not the stuff that I share with you guys, I still get a little bit of money out of it. So if you want to support the channel, that's a good way of doing it, and it doesn't cost you anything more, and it allows me to get new craft supplies. I'm really liking the size. I wasn't quite sure because usually my favorite size is 0.5, and I couldn't find the 0.5 in a big format, like a lot of pens, and so I got this one because it was 0.45, and I figured, you know, like it should be close enough that these should be fun, and they really write well. So I'm quite pleased. And even on top of like this is ink, so it's India ink. So I'm gonna bring you guys down, so hopefully you get to see better. So I'm just, you know, just going and making shapes, and I'm being inspired by the page that I shared with you. And we'll compare the two together at the end. I'm often inspired with, because I do a lot of my doodling with using fountain pens, and I'm often inspired by TextCan on Instagram. She listens to my videos sometimes, so a big hello if you're listening. Yeah, her art is always very inspiring to me. So the little circles are aligned, so we will align them with the ones below. So I hope you guys are all doing well. I love when you share what you guys are up to. It's always fun. I would also love if you guys could leave in comments types of videos that you would like to see from me. That would give me some ideas. Sometimes I feel like I'm always repeating myself and doing the same thing over and over again. So, you know, I like to do new things and fun things for you guys. So if there's something that you would like to see, well, please let me know. And if you do like what the content I make, I would really appreciate if you could subscribe, because that also helps. And if you know, leave a like or even a dislike, it still counts as interaction, so it's still good. But of course I prefer when you guys leave likes. It also means, you know, that I'm doing something that is helpful or fun for you to watch, and that's always something that I like, of course. Now I'm gonna trying to figure out how to do this. and I've put the book like right in front of me, so that's why I am looking up sometimes. So obviously, like, I wouldn't do this on this paper, and I've got a glass of wine, so cheers. It's late on a weekend night, and I'm just enjoying my time with you guys. So I wouldn't do this with a fountain pen on this because of the ink and the bumpiness, and I don't know if you can see, but here there's like a chunk of ink. But this pen here, which I had gotten off Amazon, which is very a much cheaper pen, and it's a Moonman, I need to ink it back up, but I need to change the nib, and so I haven't done it. But I don't really mind using that pen for this type of work because of the fact that it's a very inexpensive pen. And so I was using it in my mixed media, and I was having a lot of fun using it. So I need to get back to putting in ink in it. But I've been so bad. Like, I still have a few inked pens from the month of December, and I'm really trying to finish them all up. So I'm not trying to ink up any new pens for now until I finish, but I'm very close to having them all empty, and I'm very much looking forward to that because I want to play with new colors and new inks and new pens. It's fun, you know, to have a lot of pens, but it's even better when you can actually use them. So this is very meditative type of work because you're repeating patterns. So it's always, like, I find this very calming to do. It's the type of thing as well when I'm working, if I'm waiting for my computer program to load up or something, I might do stuff like this, like doodle. Meanwhile, it keeps my blood pressure lower and it's just fun. Plus it's making some art. It's a different type, but it's still making, you're still making something, you know, like it's not, you're not making art, you're making a little bit of something, even if it's different than the usual, you know. Okay, so then I'm really liking so far how this is turning out, and I like that I put it on this card. It's gonna be, yeah, I need to do this, like I said, more often, the journaling out of the box and that sort of thing. It's smaller formats. In this case, it's gonna be a long process because of the fact that you know, when you do Zen doodles, or doodling in general, it's a longer thing because, like, you're making many different patterns and filling up the whole thing. But yeah, it's fun to do those smaller size type of projects that don't take forever to do technically. And you get to experiment with things. So let's say I really like this, then I can take this and put that into a journal, do a similar page in the journal. But now I know that what I like and what I don't like, and I can actually correct what I don't like, and I'm not feeling like I'm wasting a journal page. Not that it's ever a waste, I mean, it's only paper, but still sometimes, like, you feel more precious with a journal than with a page like this, which is loose, and you know, the worst that can happen is you hate it and then you just throw the piece of paper away. Whereas I don't like tearing pages from my journals. I might glue 2 pages together if I really, really hated something, but even then I don't like it, so I try not to do that. So I prefer to make things that I know I'm gonna appreciate and enjoy. The cool thing too of following somebody else's pattern, well, first of all, most of the time when I watch TechScan and I'm inspired by her, let's be honest, most of the time my things don't turn out the same way as hers, just because I don't use a ruler, especially not with my fountain pens, and I don't usually, when I go about doing stuff, I'm just using fountain pens. I don't use a pencil, so my lines are definitely not straight, and because they're not straight, obviously it means that a lot of times it doesn't turn out at all the same way. So, you know, like, you're inspired by somebody, but that doesn't mean that the work you're going to end up doing is going to be the same as what they did. The same as this here, whereas the person I'm following had just the white paper with some drips. Well, I'm using textbook page, so it's already, that's different. And it's a much smaller format as well. So 2 things very different. Okay, so that's done. That was probably one of the longest pieces, honestly, to do. Because the other ones, there's more like ashing, like just coloring, but quickly, like not fully, and not little patterns like that. So, for example, this is not a pattern I usually do. It's kind of fun though. It would make a pretty fun doodly border. And it's quick. And there's no real precision to this, which is why I prefer going with shapes like this most of the time, because of the fact that there's no rulers needed. I'm not good with, you know, coloring within the lines, that sort of thing. I like to go with more organic shapes. And this is going to be a fun little card to reflect upon. I just need to make sure that I date it. But I've been doing a lot better about dating my stuff, so that's good. Okay, so now there's a tiny little one, then a bigger one, and a small one, and a bigger one, and a smaller line. And I've caught like paint and stuff, and it's not writing so well because I'm obviously not using it in its best of conditions. Okay, and then this one is just little cross like all the way down, but just and leaving a space, a white space in the other lines. I have to make sure that I don't cramp up my hand. Okay, so this is one side completed. Now for the other side, you do that, and then do something like this. And then a little bit more, another little one here, and then just the shapes of miscellaneous little shapes. I'm sorry if I'm being quiet. It's just that, as I said, it's very meditative, repeating those patterns. I tend to end up in my head. So this one is just some lines and my little shapes. I'm glad I used that leftover ink in this fashion. I didn't know what I was going to do with it. still have two other pages similar to this. Might tear them and use them as background of something. Okay, so that's that section done. Now I'm gonna do the rest here. So this one is gonna take a lot of black. It's a good thing I did it small. Because filling up all those tiny little spaces, it's going to take a while. And that's why you go through, I go through a lot of these pens too when I do Zen Doodles and I don't use fountain pen. I usually use, I used to use only microns, now I use fountain pens a lot, but otherwise my microns were my go-to pens for this type of work, and I use them a lot. So here's that pattern, and then the next one here, it's diamonds type of thing. And I'm having issues with diamonds. I always do. They always end up being lopsided or something. But it's okay. It's for fun. This would actually make... I might actually scan this once I'm finished with it, because I feel like it would make a great background for some of my affirmation cards that I'm making. And when with all the writing covered that way, you can't really read what's in it. And to top it off, where I might do something similar with the other page, basically in a smaller format, because I want to put my affirmations on little ATC size, like artist trading card size. So I've been working on that project, and I feel like this might be a good background for it. So, Okay, so I'm gonna do this one black. And again, you're using a lot of black here. This is why, you know, like the background doesn't show really anymore. Whatever book you use, you can't read it. And what's cool with this is it's not a pattern that belongs to anybody. Like it's just random shapes. So it's not like somebody can say, well, you copyrighted me because you're making random shapes. Of course, in this case, I am following a book as inspiration, but I'm still making it my own. Just with the fact that I'm using the textbook paper is different. And as I said, the Zen doodling patterns and stuff like that, this is all over the place, so you can't take credit. And it would be used in a card, so like under the text of the card, it's kind of more like a background than anything else. I hope that I inspire you to try new things, you know, and use your things differently in methods that you haven't thought of using. Because it doesn't have to be expensive. If you don't have pens like this, just use I have another pen that I really love, and it's really inexpensive, except that I had to get it from a friend from Australia, but it's Artline Smooth. You could just a ballpoint pen, and you can just use that to make something similar. So, and those are inexpensive. You can get them at the dollar store. And use things that are found. You often get, you know, like in this case, I'm using this box because it's this perfect size, since I'm reusing the same, all my cards are going to be the same size. But if I didn't have that, then I could just use some junk mail that I get, some flyers that, you know, mailers and things that we get all the time. That would work just perfectly fine as well. So you don't have to be fancy with your things. You just use things that you make marks with, basically. It's a great thing to do while, you know, you're listening to music or even the TV. I just need to have something to do while I'm watching TV. Often I'll just doodle and do stuff like that because, like I said, I just need to have some sort of something to occupy my hands and occupy my... Otherwise I get fidgety and I can't stay on the sofa for very long. So it's I guess it's the ADHD in me that comes out. And I don't know if I mentioned on the channel before or not, but yeah, been diagnosed with ADHD, which is strange to be diagnosed so late, like to feel. But it does explain why I can't just stay still for very long. I need to do stuff. And I was told by my doctor that methylfolate, that the 15 milligrams, which is a natural thing, can help, and it actually has helped. I was able to reduce the other medication that I was taking, that he had prescribed. So I was finding that I was having a lot of difficulty concentrating at work, and I was getting super exhausted by the end of the day because of the fact that my concentration was just, it was hard. I guess if I didn't have a job where I need to concentrate and work in numbers in front of a screen all day and be productive, maybe I would probably not be needing this. But as I was getting older, it was getting difficult. But it explains a lot of me. The fact that, like I need to do stuff all the time. There's these little places that are left. So I could do what they did here, which was something like that. And then there's other lines within. And then, so similar to this pattern, but a little bit different. Okay, and then one last little piece, and then we'll be done. What do I want to do on that one? Just do random shapes. I'm going a bit different than what they did. They seem to have done circles within circles. Okay, so finish my little card. I think I will be edging it because that's just how I roll. I think it's gonna finish it off better. And so And how cool would it be to just put words on top of this? Which is why I think I'm going to use this as the idea for my affirmation deck, because I think it would be really pretty. So I hope you've found this enjoyable, and I will look forward to reading your comments, because look, those are the two. So you can see the inspiration is the same, but it does look different. And just the fact the size, you know, that makes a big difference. And how cool, like this is one example with the wording. So I'm looking forward to knowing if this is something you like, seeing, you know, like taking a page from this and finding inspiration and then deciding what to do. Like, oh, how cool is that? There's collage. I don't like this. It looks like a spider, but look at it. How cool is that one? That little face. And there's all kinds of different fun things here. So yeah, let me know what you think, and I will love reading your comments. And if you like this, don't forget to give a thumbs up and subscribe there, so that you don't miss anything else that I will be sharing with you guys. So love you. Bye.